From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Your weekend weather update is made possible by Caltrans District 2.
Hey folks, good morning. Hope you had a nice weekend so far. Today, shaping up a lot better than yesterday. The showers are out of here. Clearer skies here through this afternoon and evening. A little bit of haze, though, from the shoot fire. We're going to watch that in the valley from Redding all the way down probably to Chico, to be honest with you. Siskiyou-Modoc County, you might get some of that smoke as it funnels further north. That notwithstanding, though, we're going to be back into the mid to upper 80s for highs. We'll call it mid 70s as we head through Siskiyou-Modoc County in the eastern mountains. Some of us might be stuck in the upper 60s, but I think a lot of us will break that 70 mark out there. Those of us who aren't in the valley, that is, of course. And again, here's what I'm talking about, that kind of funneling of the haze from the shoot fire right about here. And of course, some of that might actually lift further north into portions of Siskiyou-Modoc County. So, air quality is not the best at times across the area today, but that notwithstanding, as I said earlier, is a pretty good day out there, right? We're definitely shaping up in terms of the big picture a lot better than we have been over the last few days, but it's going to get a little rambunctious as we head over the next few days because we're on that roller coaster ride of temperatures and maybe even in terms of precipitation too. So first of all, I do want to talk about the forecast gusts and the relative humidity. Definitely some high relative humidity through this morning, but as we head through today, of course, we dry out a little bit. And gusts aren't too high, but we do get some teens, right? 15, 16, 17, 18 miles an hour here in the valley. So that'll help kind of keep that haze meandering and might actually be a little bit beneficial to the fire. We're not talking extreme red flag warnings everywhere, but there's a little bit of fire danger here as we head over the next few days, so we're going to watch that. But the better relative humidity values are inching east with time here as we head over the next few hours. Then, of course, pretty decent recovery through the overnight hours, but not quite as much as we saw overnight last night. So I do think we do have room for improvement, that much is for sure, and we actually get pretty dry through Monday and Tuesday. So I do think, generally speaking, the trend is slightly upwards for fire danger. Let's keep that in mind here, and especially with that ongoing fire, that shoe fire, we got to keep in mind we are still in fire season. We don't need to do anything more to start any new fires. And I say that, by the way, because this fire up here that we've been talking about that's lowering the air quality, that actually was started by a human, right? So a lot of times, very much preventable by us doing our part. So just wanted to mention that here. Again, not talking huge red flag warnings, but we can all help each other out by doing that simple thing. All right, so as we head over the next few days, let's take a look at the big picture pattern. I think the next weather maker is going to be this, what we call inside slider, breaking off from the jet stream, swinging south into the North State here as we head through the midweek. High pressure is kind of pushing it south and east, and that high pressure will be back across the area later on, but in the meantime, yeah, it's just kind of cutting it off, for lack of a better term. It's kind of cutting it like scissors, right? High pressure pushes in, disconnects that from the jet stream, and it kind of sits like a little bowling ball down there in the southern portions of the state there, and high pressure takes back over for us here in the North State by the weekend. But there were a few, about 24 to 36 hours where that system was sitting right over us, and that's whenever we have our next precipitation chances here as we head through the midweek. Now, I do think it's mostly showers, right? I did see some global models with some wintry type precipitation as it was heading further south and east, but you still have to go pretty high up for that. We're talking about probably about 6,500 to 7,500 feet. So we're not quite talking those low snow levels or anything like that yet, but it is a sign of the times, right? That the pattern's getting more active and cooler as well. Check it out by midweek, even along the coast, we cool down a good 7 to 8 degrees back down to the upper 50s. A little further inland, portions of Humboldt County, Trinity County, same situation. We're in the lower to mid 80s for the next few days. Honestly, a pretty nice start to our work week, but hey, that inside slider creeps on in, cools us down pretty dramatically back down to the 60s as we head into that time frame out here. And of course, that trend is true for all of us across the area. Mount Shasta City and Alturas and Modoc County, and even out towards the eastern mountains, we're holding steady with those upper 70s and maybe some lower 80s over the next couple of days. But boom, by the time we're heading through Wednesday and beyond, we go from 60s to 50s there, right? So we're calling it 15 to 20 degrees cooler in that time frame. And then check it out here towards the weekend. Now, it's a little far out, so I can't give you too many specifics, but the trend is generally there that you saw in the futurecast that we're getting back to the 60s and maybe even 70s there as that high pressure takes over. So that's why we keep saying this roller coaster analogy, because that really is the best way to put it. We're going up and down and up and down. Same situation here in the valley, a little hazy through tomorrow morning, or really this morning, to be honest with you. And then as we head through the next couple of days, 80s, those 80s turn into 70s, and then by the end of the week and next weekend, those 70s turn into 80s. So yeah, it's very much a sine wave if you're familiar with kind of geometric shapes like that, up and down and up and down. But all things considered, I've definitely seen worse patterns. A few shower chances there in the midweek, but besides that, we're doing pretty good out there. let's just strap on in because it's fall, and let's keep in mind it's only going to get more rambunctious from here. We know how winters get in the North States, so you never want to take it for granted. Thanks for joining me here for this forecast update. I'll have another look at your forecast as we head through this afternoon at 12 and 6 this evening, and I'll speak to you then.